how they swept IG, but all of a sudden LGD looking very good, and that is Flame in the top lane. So the substitution again for a game 3 back in, and we'll have to see what they go with.
Yeah, we'll see what they go with, but it is going to be the Trundle ban away from Beast.
No, it's away from Flandre.
Yeah, well, sort of semi away from Beast, of course. Tried to play it in the last game, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't work out too well, as you witnessed. It is going to be the Rek'Sai banned away once again, so Beast not going to be hopping on that one. And the final ban for Snake going to be that Hecarim. They are not going to ban away the Orianna, though, so that is, like you mentioned, pretty interesting. And Sejuani escapes the ban list as well. LGD thinking about it. Flame mixing things up, but he's going to lock away the Piggy first up.
Yeah, so going to lock in Brestle there in the jungle. Sejuani going to jump on his back as well, and they're going to go for a clear
You're so
together.
proud of yourself for knowing that his name's Brestle.
I am pretty proud of that. That was like the first random fact I ever knew. Thank you for pointing it out.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I liked it a lot. Snake now going to answer with a couple of picks, but Beast this time around is going to get the Nunu. This may change things for Snake potentially. Of course, TBQ has snapped that one up the last couple of games in a row.
And all of a sudden, Lulu is a huge pick in this composition.
Yeah.
Do they go the full-blown Juggernaut? Is it something that they can run? Are they comfortable with it? What's LGD's response? Can they just go Orianna and tear it apart? This is a real interesting pick ban phase coming through now, Atlas. Looks like that's what they're going to go with.
They're going to try, and I think Godby was looking for Orianna for quite some time there, but as soon as he found her, he locked her in immediately. Flame thinking about taking Gnar into the top lane here. They're not going to be picking away any Lulus, and Snake, they may have an opportunity to go for that Juggernaut comp that you're talking about, and we'll see whether they are able to, as Flame, 2 seconds to go. Maokai looks to be the option.
Yeah, that's a better pickup there for... Oh, actually. So he goes back to it. I'm real worried here. Actually, they're going to run it with a Draven.
Oh my goodness. This is the massive Protect the Draven comp that they ran against LGD earlier on in the season.
Fair enough. There it is. They run it with Draven through here, and this is going to be massive. Do they go the double... Mikhail's coming in there. Do they? What is the choice? They've got a lot of dive to get onto the Draven, so I don't know.
This is so similar. It's ridiculous. Replace Orianna with Lissandra, and you replace, I believe, Sejuani with, you know, something from not 5.6 that people were running in the jungle.
You're talking about the IG match where they ran.
Was that IG?
Yeah, Vi.
Oh man. I swear it was LGD. That would have made the story so much better.
Definitely wasn't, because that was a game I got very mad at Cacao.
Ah, got it.
Because he kept ulting the mid laner.
Oh, yeah. I remember that time as well. A little bit unfortunate, of course. I was just trying to make sure that we got through with an exciting storyline, but you can't make it out of nothing, as Ella is thinking about picking up Karthus here for Barker, making it a bit of a farm lane there in the mid, and forcing that Lulu onto Flandre in the top lane. Yeah,
so potentially Aura could be a top lane Karthus. We saw that Zatai picked that one up.
I think he should run Morgana.
Yeah, Morgana, a very good pickup as well. The Black Shield would be very useful in this composition, especially if it was able to block out either the Shockwave or the... Wow. Choosing to take Ryze into Orianna. Really don't agree with that one. That's going to be a difficult lane now coming through from Barker. Orianna actually scales very well, especially the way Godby builds, and is going to be able to dictate the pace of the lane, you would say.
But they now have 2 options for that hyperscaling situation. Of course, Ryze with a heck of a lot of movement speed and bigness will be able to get a lot of work done potentially.
Yeah, it certainly does. He's a legitimate second threat in the composition. You're right that way, but you can also run a second threat in the top lane. Something Hecarim's gone, so something like Shyvana could have gone up there. Even a Jax does very well with the protect the AD carry comps, because all of a sudden if Lulu speeds him up, he's in a real good spot. But we'll go through the lineups. It's Flame versus Flandre. It is Gnar versus Lulu in the top lane.
Yeah, very interesting. TBQ going to take the Sejuani, the hailed Sejuani, into Beast's Nunu here, and Godby back on the Orianna, of course, has a gigantic win percentage on that one. An Imp on the Sivir into Draven, and he picked Sivir on purpose. You have to think there might be some sort of lane swap coming through, but maybe with PYL on the Nautilus here, one of his comfort picks, it might look good.
Yeah, and Imp honestly has looked good the entirety of it. We've seen the lane swaps come through, and we've seen that they won out on it pretty heavily, especially game 2, so we'll have to see how it works out. The other thing at the moment, Imp off wins, confidence up, coming off an 11-11. I wouldn't bet anyone on beating him in lanes at the moment. He's just looking so good. He's always been known as a laner as well. Can eke people out in those, and as we mentioned, PYL on Nautilus is a real fun guy to watch play that champion. He's able to just create opportunities out of nowhere, and he does it by being extremely brave in lane with that Titan's Wrath.
Extremely brave just in general. And of course, I mean, I'm more impressed by his Bard play, to be honest, taking us on a magical journey across the Rift. And PYL has definitely been the one to really impress us on that one. Of course, has been 100% of the people that have impressed us on that one. But man, I'm looking forward to seeing what this Nautilus is going to do in this particular team comp, because speeding him up with an On the Hunt makes him a very, very dangerous threat, because he can close the distance and use that passive to stun anyone he wants. And he can just wander around the whole team, stunning up people where he sees fit.
Yeah, exactly right, which means that the Morgana might have even been a better pick in this composition because of Nautilus, because of the fact that Flame is also going to have a lot of CC. Merc Treads is a must-buy across the entirety of the Snake lineup. You got Sejuani, Nautilus coming through. That's
all you need.
A lot of CC in the lineup, and there's slows, there's stuns, there's big wombo that can come out of Godvi, and you never want to be nailed by that. Also expect Crystal to have that 3-item QSS real quickly, probably pigeonholing him into the Bloodthirst to the Last Whisper build there with the QSS coming through as the 3rd item, and a heck of a lot of Mikhails need to be picked up, because if either Barker or Crystal get caught out, the team fight is not going to be won.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, and they are not afraid to build Mikhails on Nunu. Of course, Beast has done that one in the past. Ella will be rushing to that as well. We'll see whether Flandre is going to pick that one up as his mana regen in the top lane item. But, look, probably not going to be the case. We did start off with a slight pause, ladies and gentlemen, which is why we're hanging around checking out Flame for a little bit longer than we otherwise would, but hopefully the game will be underway very, very shortly, because this 3rd one is going to be huge, because Snake really need to win. If they're going to have any hope of getting to the final, I mean, of course, it speaks for itself, but man, it's LGD looking so good.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they're down 2-0 at the moment, Snake, so they have to win the next 3 games to make it to the final. As you so definitely pointed out there, Atlas, and it's an all uphill battle from here. They're in a position now that they're very far behind. They burst into this season. They were really looking good. Backs against the wall. They took it to 5 games against King, so they've had recent experience in these best of 5s and definitely do have the potential to be able to do it. They're on a very comfortable composition in general for Snake, but everything has just been going LGD's way.
Yeah, and the last time we saw Barker on Rise, it was not a great experience for him either. Assassin dealt with him quite easily in that lane as well. We'll see how he does go, because it's a little bit frightening here for Snake's mid laner. Godvi is just a monster. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on to the Rift. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are onto the Rift for LGD versus Snake. And 2-0 up here for LGD. They got the blue side one more time. And Snake looking to really build up their carries in this one. Flandre on the Lulu in the top lane, the lane bully / ultimate utility. And, of course, Beast back on the Nunu. We'll see whether that's going to be the swing that Snake need in order to get into this one.
Yeah, well, Flandre's been getting bullied in the entirety of this series, so I'm not surprised that they throw him something on a little bit more supportive. We mentioned the Morgana. Lulu also kind of the similar champion, just going to be used to push out waves, farm up, and then get behind Crystal. Honestly, there hasn't really been a standout member for Snake the entirety of the series versus LGD. It's been pretty convincing. Ella's looked pretty good at times for me, but the rest of them haven't really been able to do too much. Barker's Vladimir in Game 1 was also relatively good, but now he's on Rise, and against Godvi, who's just so comfortable, especially if we have a lane swap and it goes to a 2v1. 1v1, Godvi is so good at the moment.
Yeah, and his Orianna is absolutely incredible. So, look, I'm frightened for Barker. We'll see whether they do manage to keep Barker safe in this lane. He was looking for a cheeky cube. It doesn't quite get there. And LGD, they're setting up something. They've got a ward, but of course so does Snake.
Yeah, they're getting the 2v2 lanes is what they're doing. They spot out everyone going for the invade. This is going to be a 4v4, maybe a 4v3 in the jungle. TBQ needs to be careful.
Yeah, Beast, he is hanging out here. They know what's up. As POL's hanging around, Flandre's going to get a glitter lance through. TBQ gets slowed down. Sejuani getting torn to shreds. The Ignite definitely going to help. And Draven already with first blood. No adoration stacks to be cashed in, but he's still going to be happy.
Yeah, so first blood and Nunu got the red buff as well. So everything going right for Snake. And that's what they needed. 3 assists, a kill to Draven. All of a sudden, Imp recalling out of the lane, wants in on that bot.
Yeah, he really cannot hang around here. Definitely not with Crystal now. Definitely having that experience advantage. You give that to a Draven, and he's definitely going to run with it. And this is Crystal. This is the man that gets pentakills on Draven. It's terrifying to deal with this guy in lane.
Yeah, it certainly is, and he's able to pick up the early kill. The wave was like put in a freezing position for him, so he's able to grab that one. As we see a little bit of a trade coming out of Godvi and Barker. Godvi taking the wrong end of that one as well. As TBQ, he's just picking up his first buff now. You feel that maybe Nunu can get some work done on this early game. Beast needs to get control.
Yeah, and they're looking for Godvi here as well. The flash into the room prison. There's going to be the Ice Blast as well. The Command Protect trying to do some work, but Barker with the fadeaway Q picks up second kill of the game at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. That should theoretically have been first blood that early, but no, because of course Crystal already with one. Man, nicely played.
Yeah, it certainly was. And now all of a sudden the 2 scaling hyper carries have got kills on Snake's lineup. It's looking much better for them this time around as TBQ, he's able to get a blue buff for himself. It's the enemies as Beast is invading his. But 1.3 thousand gold, the advantage already coming through here for Snake. And they've started the early game off exactly where they needed to. This is the confidence boost they needed. Now Flandre just needs to play this one carefully because TBQ, he's on top of a ward, was spotted out, but you're ahead. Don't do anything silly underneath the turret.
Most definitely not, but Flame, he has to deal with Beast here, who dodges out from underneath that bounce to stop him from bouncing too far. But he is going to be absolutely fine, just wanders away.
Yeah, picked up the Doran shield early as Godvi and Barker, they're trading even further.
Yeah, Barker actually taking the worst of that one. Of course, the extra Doran's ring going to be helping Godvi out in the damage department. Tyr not really helping Barker just yet. Needs to stack up a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Rise. You pick up the early kills until you get really Catalyst. That's where you jump ahead a little bit, so accelerating that purchase is good. But he does need to be careful that he doesn't make any rash choices as the Nautilus also pops his head into the lane. Top lane completely zoned away. Flandre 14 CS up. He's already having a better game. You feel that the support picks really are Flandre's comfort right now, and you would never have thought you would say that about the guy that used to play crit top lane LeBlanc.
Yeah. Trinity Force LeBlanc is not generally a support champion, but of course the fast push for Imp working out here on the bottom side as he was looking for a spell shield. Didn't quite get it. You can see LGD, they're going to take away the first dragon, try and eke themselves back a little bit of an advantage. Not going to mean too much in the early stages, but making sure they lock down the first one of those is going to help them at least get one dragon this game if Snake continue to stay ahead. And now
do they go for the dive? Flandre in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it does manage to clear out the minion wave, and Ella was spotted out here as well. Flandre knows what's up. He's looking for a trade onto Imp, who's also tanking up some minions, but LGD are going to back away from the dive.
Yeah, so Imp able to shove this one out. As we see, once again, Govi, he's still farming in this mid lane, has been able to pick up a CS advantage even though he fell so early and trading well.
Yeah, he's looking for this one. Clockwork wind up there as well as he's ignited in the flash forward 1v1 against Barker with first blood, or second.
Able to get in there and get the kill, and it was all about those combat stats that you talked about. He grabbed the second Doran's ring, wasn't willing to let the lead go. And that's what you have to do against Rise. He's looking to scale up. He's never going to be a good laner. And Godvi making it worse as, wow. BF saw Draven already at 6 minutes in that bottom lane. And Imp, you have to think that he was feeling good before. He's still probably feeling good because he's Imp, but the pickaxe not going to really be the item pickup he's looking for.
No, most definitely not. These spinning axes are going to be so frightening. POL had an opportunity for a dredge line, but thought he might actually have to trade his life for it if he was to actually let that one go down, as Crystal continues to push out this wave, and Imp doesn't even really want to throw a boomerang at this Draven.
No, certainly doesn't. Also doesn't want to push out his lane. He's happy. If Draven continues to push him in, Imp is like, okay, that's fine. That is where I want to be in this lane because I do not want to be trading with you in the middle of the lane. Even if I take some extra turret damage right now, probably not going to be too upset about it.
Whoa. Yeah, that That spinning axe definitely doing some work. Beast going to clear out some wards here on the top side of the map. Not going to go for anything onto Flame, who is relatively safe there with the bounce, of course.
Yeah, but he's 30 CS behind, nearly 25-ish CS behind already on the Gnar. So all of a sudden, Lulu with the double Duran rings and the start of a Morellonomicon looking a lot safer in this top lane as a pick.
Yeah, the Forbidden Idol coming through there for some more cooldown reduction as well as Crystal trading nicely. Eye of the Storm helping him stay healthy as well here from Ella. This has been one of the most successful lanes for Snake so far in the LPL series. And man, Flandre able to start really clearing out these minion waves.
Yeah, it certainly is. He's going to be able to shove all day with the double Duran ring and the Forbidden Idol, as you pointed out. Mana regen, plenty coming through there.
Oh, yeah.
As if I'm Imp right now, I'm just trying to do exactly what I'm doing. This is actually very firmly in LGD's favor. If you get a Draven ahead, generally you don't like to push the lane. You like to freeze it a little bit more than what you're doing. He's building up the Adoration stacks. You understand why he's doing it there, but Crystal could probably zone a little bit harder than what he is right now.
And Barker with an interesting choice. Going to cheat to the bottom side of the map and then recall to try and pick up that Catalyst, of course, but might be wanting to think that LGD might assume that he's heading down there. Of course, there is vision available. Snake actually with a lot of vision around this map. That's what happens, of course, like you mentioned, with the double Sightstone.
Yeah, exactly right. It's such an effective build coming through from Nunu. You see he's going the Chilling Smite this time, and now he's able to pick up the Sightstone before the Cinderhold comes through. It means he's very tanky at this point of the game and is able to spot out exactly where the Sejuani is. Of course, Sejuani only level 5, not yet level 6 after First Blood did go down onto TBQ. So isn't looking for his early gank, but Flame, he's been shoved in, nearly lost his turret top lane after Crystal was able to get all that early work done, and he's starting to get extremely bullied, 30 CS down, so the gap is getting larger as Flandre really putting some work in now on Lulu.
Yeah, and his Glitter Lances are really starting to hurt here as well as Flame unable to really tank those up. Flandre clears out these minion waves almost immediately and then just continues to pressure Flame under this turret.
He's going to get it.
Yeah, it's done as Flandre on the Lulu is now a sieging unit.
Yeah, but does he freeze it up? That's the important question. They're looking for a little bit of a wraparound here as Flame gets a ward through. If maybe he can freeze it up, he can make Flandre pay for that because they're not really looking to start pushing objectives this early in. They've got to rise. He really needs to start scaling, not to mention the fact that actually that's an interesting pickup coming through here from Crystal. He's gone boots too after he's got that BF sword. Just wants to get a gold efficient build in there. We've seen that's the name of the game right now. As Imp's going to go back with 1,300 gold, so he can't get anything. Goes the double longsword, so he's going into, I guess,
Brutalizer?
not panic mode, but yeah, it will be the Brutalizer. We've seen a little bit of popularity come through with that one, but that hurts them. They've got 2 hyper carries on the other team. Imp really is a lot of his team's damage. Needs to make sure he can still do some work late game.
Yeah, and Godby actually going to freeze up his wave as well. Does have the CS advantage now, Fiendish Codex as well as the Doran's rings. But Barker, of course, with the Catalyst, starting to do some work here in the mid lane as he just moves down to try and clear out some vision. PYL down here with Imp, of course. We do have TBQ on the bottom side of the map. They may look to see if something can happen. PYL's level 4 for the level 7 Draven, and Crystal is now solo zoning the bottom lane of LGD. Look at these spinning axes, but Crystal taking a lot of damage in response. Nice Howling Gale to come through as a Whirling Death there. Let's check out the mid lane for a moment as there's a Shockwave. Barker gonna fall down as Beast comes through. There's the ultimate though. Godby picking up yet another one. You have to think Dissonance to come down. The double kill. And Godby just looks like he doesn't even need any help as LGD, they managed to do some work in the bottom side as well as Flame teleported in to protect Imp and PYL.
Yeah, desperation teleport though from Flame because that's going to mean that his top lane turret takes a lot of damage and he kind of needs to worry about his own lane, to be honest, because all of a sudden 40 CS is the advantage for Flandre, and the bigger Lulu gets, the easier it's going to be for Draven to really roll. The big problem though is Godby. All of a sudden, Orianna is an absolute monster. 93 CS, 3-1-0. A lane that was ganked early and Barker was winning is now completely out of control.
Yeah, utterly out of control. Ella going to clear out this pink ward, but man, this game is on the back of Godby. He's picked up another actually decided not to complete the Athene's Unholy Grail, and he's decided to finish off his boots here as well as pick up that amplifying tome. You have to think going to be going towards that Haunting Guise and then the Leandry's Torment for a whole lot of early game power with the magic penetration, but also for that Leandry's cuts through Beast, who's going to have a whole lot of health, and whoever Flandre decides to Wild Growth.
Yeah, might go for that. I think this time around he goes maybe a Luden's Echo or a Death Cap, because it's all about blowing up Crystal or Baka. If you get one of those guys off the map, all of a sudden the team fight gets a hell of a lot easier, and the burst damage really is key right now. As you see, that attack command dissonance combo just took half of Ella's health.
Yeah, disgusting. Imp, he has finished the Brutalizer, so some early game power here available, as Crystal in response didn't actually pick anything up, I don't believe. Oh, he did manage to get the Vampiric Scepter completed, as Godby continuing to farm out this mid lane. And Beast going to take down his red buff as well. But, I mean, the Nunu performances from TBQ was hard farming, managing to stay so far ahead of Beast. And on the Sejuani, despite the fact that he died for first blood to the Draven very early on, he's even. He's a head-on farm as far as these camps are concerned.
Yeah, certainly is. And he was able to get that really nice counter gank in the mid lane that set Godby up for that 2 kills. That's what did it for me. Otherwise, Beast was actually doing a relatively good job of impacting the lanes earlier than you would expect out of a Nunu. But when Govy was able to turn that around and pick up the double, it really was off the back of a good Sejuani ultimate coming through there, and was willing to flash and stay with it. As we see, mid lane turrets fallen, all of a sudden 2 turrets to 1. LGD pick up a gold advantage when they'd given up the first 2 kills of the game.
Yeah, and everything was snowballing beautifully. They now have a gold advantage over the side of LGD. We saw early on they managed to pick up the Dragon as well. And Crystal, despite the fact that he had so much of a lead, he's only 10 CS ahead. And Imp has just been eating up all this farm that's been heading towards the turret.
Yeah, exactly right. He's just been extremely patient, willing to pick that one up, keep himself in the game. Now he's backed away because didn't have any jungle support down there. They're just pinging warning signs everywhere, and they'll give the turret over to Crystal. But Imp, he's done a good job of salvaging a bad lane.
Yeah, and this is just damage control, really, from LGD on the bottom side of the map. Of course, Crystal probably wants to be that teamfight Draven that he's known for, able to pick up axes whilst navigating a teamfight has been what's really been impressive by his play. Godby going to pick up his ball and head back to the mid lane. And, man, it's going to be difficult for Snake heading into the late game, and I wasn't expecting to say that after the start that they had. It was the glorious wonder start here for these guys. And the only thing that's really going wrong here for LGD that's really, really bad is Flame in the top lane is so far behind.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, there's still very good sides coming through from Snake. They're a scaling composition that's up 300 gold at 15 minutes.
True.
Baka has got the roller. He's already got the tier, so that's very good pace coming through from Rise. So he's going to be an absolute monster. Look, LGD, they fell behind and they've done a good job of picking themselves back up, but the win conditions are still very available for Snake.
And we'll see whether they can make it work heading into the end of this one, as Crystal continuing to farm out. LGD have managed to pick back up some vision control around this map, as Crystal with the Bloodthirster just hard pushing in this bottom lane. Barker now without his turret, still just happily farming this one up, and we'll see exactly what happens. The tier almost done. Didn't actually quite see the number there, but
450 out of 750, so he's
beautiful. Halfway.
Scaling that up very nicely for only 15 minutes in the game.
By halfway, I mean a little bit over halfway, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Godby going to be able to clear out this bottom wave pretty quickly with that dissonance as well. Not too bad, but a slight lull here, Spawn.
Yeah, actually, and Godby going for the Aether-Wisp, so he has picked up the makings of a Luden's Echo, and I really think it is just because he wants to delete one member off the map, and he'll be able to get multiple procs of that out in team fights. There's a little bit of a siege coming through here. Of course, their team doesn't siege too well. This is the thing about the scaling Draven. Very good at fighting, not great at sieging up turrets.
Now, the interesting thing about Godby as well is he's done this build before, gone for the Alacrity enchant as well as the Aether-Wisp for heaps of movement speed early on in the game. It's not something that he does every single game when it's available. Of course, Luden's Echo was in there, but he picked it up one game and then went for the Leandry's Torment the other game. Why do you think that he mixes up his build like this?
Yeah, so I think it's versus, do I have to shred a super tank or do I need to destroy a squishy? And right now, his job is to kill Crystal.
Yeah.
That's all he's built to do. So in the end, that's what he's going for. I'm sure if it was like a Maokai Nunu Cho'Gath, he would be like, all right, Leandry's locked that one in, going to be persistent team fights. Right now, he is looking for not a shockwave, he's looking for the shockwave to end all shockwaves. As Nice movement coming through from Snake. They push in, take down the tier 2 turret in the top lane. So Flame continue to be bullied here. They brought 4 members down, and that opens up mid lane because all of a sudden you can be behind the mid lane turret. If there's only 1 or 2 people defending, you just dive them, take them out.
Yep, no worries at all. Barker now going to take down this bottom wave. Dragon up in another 50 seconds here. Snake thinking about that one as Crystal's going to be heading back to base. Hasn't actually managed to cash in on any of those adoration stacks just yet as he picks up a pickaxe here. Makes sure he's as strong as possible for the ensuing Dragon fight in about half a minute.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a dangerous fight actually for Snake right now because they don't have a Mikhail's or a QSS yet. The reason I point that out is because there's a lot of CC that will come through from TBQ and Flame. So maybe you give this one up. It sounds so strange to tell a team that is definitely ahead to give it up as Godby steals away a blue buff. But maybe you just don't want to fight right now because there's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Yeah, and Godby looked so proud of himself after that dissonance steal as well. Really beautiful stuff. And man, this Orianna is frightening. And it is probably the one most frightening thing about this LGD lineup. Yeah,
it certainly is. And you see no Mercury treads picked up. Lulu has actually gone for the cooldown reduction. Looks like they're going to be able to get this one uncontested, although now LGD moving into position. I still think that LGD, if they get in here, can win this fight. They're going for a teleport. Are they around the back?
Yeah, they're thinking about something here as Flame maybe a little bit too far away there with the teleport as he's come in a little bit too late.
Yeah, it certainly was a little bit late and left the top lane for it. Probably could have traded objectives if he wanted to. But in the end, they don't get the team fight they were looking for. So Snake, by rushing down the Dragon, they're able to pick up their second one of the game. And because the team fight didn't eventuate, now they're pretty safe.
Yep, not too bad as Godby went for the steal on the Raptors. Let's see that one again. Doesn't get it. Does pick up a couple of little ones, though, and Flame doesn't get the other one. So a little bit sad, so some popcorn chickens go over to Godby.
Nice zone coming through right there. You can't run over the ball. You have to go around, so they'll get some sneaky auto attacks on the turret. Every little bit counts.
Yep, Godby then going to dissonance himself towards the Rift Scuttler as well.
So about 1,000 gold the lead for Snake right now. All of that is on the top lane. Actually, Godby's 1,000 gold up, and then the other 2 laners are 1,000 gold down. So very interesting distribution of gold coming through there.
Yeah.
For, I guess, the laners. Godby really doing well for himself there. Must be sitting on a fair whack of gold as well. 1,400, 1,500 gold. You'd think as soon as he has that 1,600 gold, he'll go back, pick that one up as Flandre grabs himself a blue buff. Of course, that puts him over CDR cap, but mana regen, always a good thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Barker wasn't there to pick that one up. Of course, lost his blue buff opportunity when it was stolen from Godby before, but he's just split pushing this bottom side, wanting to scale through. 5 stacks now on that Rod of Ages. Halfway there. There's 25 minutes. He is going to have that one completed. Needlessly large rod now for Godby. Only about 650 before that Luden's Echo comes through. Nice glitter lance there from Flandre onto POL, doing a lot of damage now with that needlessly large rod and Morellonomicon.
Yeah, so Barker really doesn't care about blue buff at this point, actually. He loves the cooldown reduction coming through there, but he's got so much mana at the moment that he probably can't burn through it, even if he would like to. Still stacking up that towards the Seraphs coming through. So we'll see exactly when he gets that one built up. He must be pretty close now as we take a look in. 615 out of 750, so he's doing well for himself. But he has been caught out a little bit.
Yeah, no, just wandering around. Not necessarily caught out as Godby is here, but hasn't actually decided to go aggressive. Does wait around in the brush, but Barker's going to escape, and Godby going to clear out this wave there with the ball, and of course his auto attacks, Clockwork Wind Up, always one of the most satisfying things to farm with. As Imp going to use that. Wow! Crystal with some ridiculous damage there. Flandre with the Whimsy, and of course the Eye of the Storm there as well, giving
help
Crystal
picks.
A whole lot of stuff. Yeah, and help picks as well. Man, that was silly as Godby can't actually go toe-to-toe with Barker.
Yeah, so he actually used a Shockwave as well, so we'll have to see how this one works out. Barker gets the... Oh,
yeah,
Ella,
Godby.
that's cheating.
Yeah, still has a lot of damage, but there's the Ignite. Ooh, Command Protect.
Just died to Ella.
Yeah, didn't. Decided that wasn't the thing that he wanted to do, and Spellflux actually managed to bounce to him as well.
Yeah, he would have picked that one up, and the Siege in mid lane now after Imp got chunked out. There's one auto attack left on that turret. You think with a shield from Lulu as well as Janna, that will fall. It does. And Snake, all of a sudden, in commanding control of this game.
Yeah, massive control. You can see Godby there having some words to his team. Got caught out there a little bit in the bottom side of the map. Probably thought that he could 1v1 Barker, but Barker managing to scale enough to the point where he's in control now.
Yeah, and Ryze has always been a great duelist because he's not cooldown gated like a lot of other mid laners are. If you miss, well, you can't really miss because he also just points and clicks at you, so very hard to mess up Ryze.
Yeah, hover your mouse over the enemy, press buttons.
Yeah, face roll, keyboard.
That's Pantheon, isn't it?
You assume that he missed, he was able to flash out of one of the spells, got himself in a good position, and from there, very little margin for outplay for Godby, not able to get in. So the duel going across the Barker, he picks up a kill, 2-2-0 now for him, going very nicely on Ryze.
Yeah, definitely, as Barker actually picks himself up some armor and magic resist as well.
One thing I will say about Barker's build is he's gone for the Sork boots, and I really don't like Sork boots on Ryze. They're an unnecessary pickup. If you just go for the Mercury treads, you keep yourself out of CC. It's all about damage uptime on Ryze. He's like Vlad. Then you just pick up. The other thing is, okay, so he's short range, and Banshee's Veil doesn't give you mana anymore, so you may as well go Abyssal Scepter anyway. And then you can just go a Void Staff endgame to be able to pick up all the spell pen that you need. So really, it's just a strange build coming through there. Don't like it.
No, not really that much of a fan either. Maybe you just wanted some power now for the next fight, but of course...
But do you know what else is powerful? Not getting caught in Nautilus, Sejuani, Nah. That's really powerful.
True. True, and I guess like being able to at least get out of it more quickly. Probably a good idea too.
Well, it just affects the layering of CC, as we actually see Crystal as well has gone for a phage, so not respecting the CC that's coming out of LGD at the moment. You still feel that a one team fight is just the layering of CC out of LGD. That is their win condition. Press R on Imp, get everyone in nice and close to the point where you can't miss the skill shots, and then blow a member up with Godby. So the fact that there's not a QSS and there's no Merc treads on their mid laner really is a worrying sign. Flandre, he's the sign of good news this time around. 30 CS still in the advantage. He's picked up his death cap, so his shields are huge at the moment. Going to be adding some damage as well over to Crystal, and we'll have to see how the next team fight works out. You feel that they want to go 5v5, and looking for something is LGD.
Yeah, TBQ looking to try and get that Glacial Prison on someone as Godby making his way towards the Dragon. Snake maybe out of position here just a little bit as LGD, they sort of beelined there for that objective as it spawned. And they do have the vision already prepared. Barker looking to try and get in and do something whimsy there on it, but there's the Glacial Prison as Flandre getting get flashed out of that shockwave. Beautifully done as the hula hoop comes through, whirling death from Crystal, but man, still taking some damage here as Beast. There's the ultimate, but he's going to get knocked against the wall. Lots of damage as Ella gets torn apart. PYL right in amongst it as Godby's going to take down Ella. And my God, this Orianna is eliminating this team. Flandre now the last man standing. Godby, though, picks up the quadra kill as Flandre falls down. That is a 1 for 5.
Yeah, they're able to get the one team fight. Need to be careful with Dragon coming through here, but they'll be able to pick that one up. And Godby is laughing over Cobb.
Oh, man.
Having a fantastic game. The Luden's Echo coming up massive in that team fight. You saw Crystal wasn't even in the ultimate, but then he got Attack Command Dissonance and nearly died just off the back of that as PYL chooses a strange place to back.
Yeah, no, he's just eyeing off the Gromp. He was like, yes, you win this round.
All right, let's take another look. So 3 people get tied up here, and you see the Shockwave, it only tags Barker against the wall, so he still is relatively healthy, but look where the ball is positioned. Crystal walks over the top of it, has to flash away early, and the next one that comes through after Beast gets taken out is absolutely massive. You see it right there, gets Ella, gets Crystal in a horrible position, and everyone just collapses, takes him out. Even Barker in the end, not able to get some work done. And it's all about the shields and then the persistent damage. You see the Luden's Echo there for some added burst damage, just brings home the team fight win. 7-2-1 now, Godby in a huge position to carry for his team.
Yeah, now with another needlessly large rod on top of everything else. The death cap going to be coming through. They do have a gold advantage now, but Snake still definitely in this one. They just need to play this out a little bit better.
Baron, I think, Atlas.
My goodness, this is some heads-up place. Flame looking to try and do some zoning here as Crystal's going to take a boulder. There's the teleport in from Flandre, trying to get into the backside as Crystal doing some work. But man, the Baron's going to get taken down by Imp as PYL tries to engage this one. Wild growth onto Barker, but there's the shockwave onto only Flandre actually, and Beast is trying to start this one up. Barker flashing forward, but he's going to get taken out immediately. Imp picks up the kill as he now tries to come through, dodges out of the way of the Absolute Zero as Crystal trying to get some damage down the Draven. Pretty massive here on the front line, but the ball still doing some work. Gotta be respected. No mana on Crystal now. As LGD, they start to re-engage. Imp picks up another one onto Beast as Ella forced to flash away. LGD, they get the Baron and they lose 1 for 2.
Yeah, in the end, LGD just with the superior team fighting coming across again. Really handed to Flame there. He zoned incredibly well, then was able to get back over the wall for his team. But really, it's just all about this Orianna at this point. Keeping everyone so healthy, it means that you can do Baron, no worries in the world, because such a short cooldown on the Command Protect. Also just zoned the entirety of the team. You can't chase anyone at the moment because Godby will just explode you. And he's just too scary. That's what we said. If Godby can get ahead for the team, it looks a hell of a lot better because he will eliminate a threat.
Yeah, and he most certainly did his best to do that. Barker actually flashing very aggressively in that last fight, though, meant that he didn't really do that much.
Yeah, he certainly didn't. He got removed as well, and now you really have to question the build. Is he going for a GA?
Or is he... what? Yeah, that's true. What's that Chain Vest doing?
Yeah, don't know. Coming through there, a little bit of a strange pickup as PYL. He wanted to get closer to that cannon creep.
Yep, give it a cuddle. And he certainly did, and it was taken down. Riptide is there as well. PYL able to help shove these waves in. Ella, Howling Gale is going to stop PYL from advancing too quickly, but this blue buff is most definitely going to LGD.
So only one pair of Merc Treads built against the LGD lineup. I think Snake have mixed a trick here. They're going to be under fire here from TBQ under turret. If they ever stack up, that is a very real dive potential coming through from Sejuani. She's got the flank. They're going to back away, but he can hit the go button whenever Imp wants to go in.
Yeah, Imp has got the donkey whistle here as well with the On the Hunt, of course. Just yells at his team and they can run through. And getting a Sejuani into a position to get that Glacial Prison down any faster is a terrifying concept as the boomerangs come through. Of course, Snake with Flandre this strong are able to clear out minion waves instantly.
Yeah, they certainly are, but the threat is of the turret divers. They're just going to rotate around both minion waves pushing for Snake, so minion wave control not in LGD's favor. They need to look after that, probably go back and pick up all the gold, but they've got themselves a 5,000 gold advantage, Atlas, after they lost the first 2 kills of the game. Snake looked like they had this one covered.
Yeah.
They had a good team fighting comp. They had the first 2 kills. Really, everything was in their favor. They had their keys to success, but LGD, they've just executed better throughout the entirety of the series.
And it's Godby decimating the lane as well. I mean, despite the fact that he got flashed on and killed very early on by that beautiful gank that came through, then managed to win the 1v1 kill in lane.
They might have caught someone out here. Beast is real quick, and there's 2 members on the top side of the map. They'll at least lose their red buff going across to Crystal.
Oh, look at this huge minion wave in the bottom side, though. Snake, they could have rotated down there.
Yeah, didn't choose to in the end. Of course, Flame has his teleport, and Bristle, he moves pretty quickly around the map. We're going to have to see exactly what happens here. Godby, he goes back and cleans out that minion wave. So in the end, not really much gain from Snake, just a picked up red buff and a lot of gold secured around the entirety of the map. Now 6,000 gold, the advantage for LGD.
Yeah, LGD just looking like they're pulling this lead out further and further as well. It is a Guardian Angel for Barker as his 3rd item, and that is just ludicrous.
Yeah, that's a weird pickup coming through there. Could have gone, yeah, anything.
Abyssal Scepter, like
Abyssal, Frozen
Heart is like the best item ever on Rise.
Could even go the Dade build where he goes Woda, gets himself some cooldown reduction and Spell Vamp for persistent threat in the team fights.
Man, you are the best Rise salesman. I'm going to buy one now. That was fantastic. Barker, though, he does have a spinning dress on now, though, which is looking very fancy. So that's nice. Crystal's finished his Trinity Force. But, of course, Imp is gigantic as well. He's got the Vampiric Scepter on top of his first 3 items that Ghostblade completed, so he's got double go buttons. It's going to be a very, very fast Sivir heading towards the Snake lineup, and LGD now going to be able to easily take down this Dragon before Snake can respond. They are coming around. They're looking for a team fight here as Flame with the Banshee's
Oh,
Veil is
got
there.
him.
Oh, PYL gets onto Barker, but look at how big he is. Still getting shredded. Imp just going to tear him apart. Beast just gets ignored there on the side as Imp does manage to get a ice ball to the face. Ella, though, now, my goodness, that boomerang damage. Crystal gets the adoration stacks as PYL falls down. The rest of LGD are going to respect this. Draven as Beast looking to try and come through. Godby still very healthy on the backside.
Still has the shockwave as well. They need to be careful.
They have to be so careful. Crystal comes around for a flank, flashes into the Arctic Assault, but the stand aside was there. Look at the dissonance damage. That is disgusting as Crystal can't do anything. Still, the shockwave available for Godby. The double kill. Imp flashes forward and picks up Barker at the same time. Man, this LGD lineup team fights so well.
Yeah, certainly doing. They didn't use 2 of their huge ultimates. Flame still has the Gnar. Shockwave still available. In the end, it doesn't matter. One team fight. Now 6,000. Make it 7,000. And an inhibitor goes down. They picked up the dragon as well, so they're on 3. And they're just... You're right. They're so incredibly impressive when it comes to how well they coordinate as a 5-man unit.
Yeah, and they all backed away as a group of 4. They knew that Godby still had his ultimate, and then they just moved back in. Crystal went for the aggressive play, but he got flashed on by TBQ.
Yeah, well, Crystal did everything that he possibly could. I mean, he had to go aggressive then because the game's getting out of control. You saw the GA pickup. Meant absolutely nothing in that team fight. I get it. It's got some resist. It's a good, effective health pool item. Actually brings you back to life. And with how aggressive Barker's been playing, might have been needed. But they killed him. And then they just killed him again. He died twice so quickly in that team fight.
And it looked like it was incidental as well the second time he died.
Yeah, and they didn't use anything to kill him. You're exactly right. Incidental is a good word. It was like a couple of auto attacks and a command dissonance and...
Well,
he was dead.
Yeah, after a GA rebirth, I think one of the dissonances coming through from Godby would be killing him. This is a 4-item Orianna with Alacrity boost.
Yeah, exactly right. They get the teleport in as well. They're going for another Baron. Snake have to do something desperate. They're behind Flandre.
He is super dead. TBQ looking for this one. Glitterlance over the 3 members as Flame does have that Banshee's
use an ultimate for him.
Nah, POL. Oh, Dredgeline doesn't land, but there's the dissonance, and my God, this damage is disgusting. Cool guys don't look at explosions, as Imp is going to take him down with that fadeaway boomerang. Snake looking for an objective of any kind at this stage of the game as they take down the mid lane in a turret, but that is a trade for a Baron. They're looking to see if they can take down the inhibitor. Crystal does have a whole lot of damage. Snake might be able to do this.
Yeah, they definitely are. They're going to trade Inhibitor for Baron. So in the end, probably the best that Snake could hope for coming through on this one. But the Baron still goes down. And now they need to be careful because PYL is behind them. Going to look to stop their recall as much as possible. Al has already been caught.
Yeah, the Riptide, of course, doing some work there as well. TBQ did have the home guard boots looking for the advance onto this one. Dredgeline lands. Imp easily going to take down Ella. That was just... Oh, my goodness.
And now they're hurting them. Are they going to be able to get in behind? No, actually, they just decide to take away the blue buff instead. I think they could have actually got a little bit more work done there. But instead, they'll just settle for it.
Do they even really need to?
No, not really. Probably an overcommit, you're right. Oh, now has PYL been caught?
Yeah, does manage to Dredgeline his way out after getting Rune Prison there, but PYL completely out of mana. Barker just runs past him, but that might be a little bit too deep as Crystal gets caught by Flame. Boulder toss to the head as Flandre slowed down a little bit here. Flame again with another Boulder. The whimsy's there, but not quite speeding up Flandre to the extent that he really wants it to. The shield is going to be helping, but it wears out now. TBQ looking for another Arctic Assault. Does close the distance a little bit, but Flandre runs so quickly.
Yeah, good luck catching him, guys. He's going to be able to get away most likely as he speeds himself up yet again. TBQ.
Why?
He's pretty stubborn. Well, he's stopping him from going back. That's all the wave clear. So in the end, the super minion's probably going to be able to do more work than what Flandre can stop. And you can see in the mid lane, they're happy to continue to push up there. Imp's being caught, though.
Yeah, Absolute Zero is there. Beast does a whole lot of damage. There's on the hunt. Blows the heal as well as Ella's not offering too much damage in response. He takes a whole lot of damage. Look at the reset coming through as Beast. He's going to fall as well. Inner turret falls down and Imp is so good. The chase is still on, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
And all the way stopping Flandre's back was the smartest thing they could have done. They're going to grab another inhibitor for it and LGD might even be able to close out the game.
Yeah, and Sejuani looked so silly chasing after the Lulu, but that has been what has won them this game. The Baron buff as well is going to help out as the second Nexus turret going to be falling down. Crystal back alive again, but almost dead as Flandre forced a flash. The Nexus being focused down as Imp does so much damage. Godby just eliminates Crystal, and my God, LGD against all odds pick up the third victory for the clean sweep. And, geez, going into this battle against EDG, they're definitely looking good.
Yeah, EDG, some advice. Hecarim, Sejuani, Orianna.
Yeah.
Never let them get through Champion Select because
Nunu as well.
LGD, I would take Nunu over TBQ Sejuani at the moment any day of the week. He was pinpoint with those ultimates, and in the end, Snake just didn't have any answers. They gave them what is the Juggernaut comp. They could have run any variants that they wanted of that, and it just didn't get it done.
No, and they had all of the tools given to them in the early game, but there was just nothing that they could do. You're exactly right, and LGD, they just looked like the better team today.
Yeah, they certainly did. They came to play their stars.
That's the
really
man right
shone.
there.
Godby played awesome.
And PYL, yeah, just giving him the congratulations. Man, this guy...
He's checking his damage done. Guarantee it.
Oh, well, it's probably pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm about to as well.
Yeah, let's have a look. We'll give you the play-by-play of the graph.
Yeah, so 29,000 damage done to champions coming through. Most in the game by far.